Join us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with a higher vibrational podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to sherrylord.com for more info. Join us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show. So we just got it off. I don't know if it's going to come back on. I can't hear you. Can you speak?
I can hear you. Hello. Hi.
We had a little internet thing here, a glitch, but we're going to move on from that. We just want to say welcome everybody to this beautiful Tuesday morning. Thank you for joining us. If you get a chance, please chat with us. We'll answer your questions if you have a question. And by the way, go to www.sherrylord.com because we now have advertisements. So we have really great prices for you to advertise with us. We'd love to promote you. Make sure you check it out on the website under spirituality and authors, and make sure you chat. And again, I'm Sherry Lord, your influencer host, and we have an amazing, wonderful guest. And we've had her on before. She's very popular. People love her. So make sure to ask your questions. It's Kathleen Sherman. She is going to help us with her topic called Finding Peace in the Midst of Chaos. Absolutely. This is what we're going through. We're in Mercury at the same time. So people can use a tip and any information to help them sail through it. So welcome, Kathleen. You are a shaman and you also are a medical, intuitive, and so much more. Can you share a little bit with our audience about you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on, Sherry. And you were an influencer for me because you helped me find myself when I was in the midst of my chaos and spiritual awakening and stuff like that. So thank you for doing your part and helping others. And then I, of course, went through a spiritual awakening years ago. And then eventually I figured out how to heal myself energetically, and with a few herbs and things like that. And then I heard from the spirit, they go, you healed yourself, now turn around and help the next. And I went, okay, help the others. So I'm like, okay, so this is what we do, right? You help the next, we pay it forward. And so that's what I do. I do a conglomerate of many different things. And so basically it's just, what do? I help people on their path. It's body, mind, and spirit. And so shamanism is, basically, that word just means that you're a seer, healer, intuitive, and a guide. So think of me as like a guide for you in your life, a spiritual guide, just like we have energetic guides and helpers from the other side of the veil, divine ones. I take this in this body. I kind of channel those helpers and guides for you and for me, and help people. Help others with what they need to know or what they need to heal. And so that it's been a lot of chaos that's been rising up on earth. And so that chaos has been, it takes people, it takes the rugs out from under their feet. Right. And so what I do is I help in many ways. So I've written 2 books and you'll talk about that, but all of these things are for people. They're tools for people to help them to find their inner peace and to do their work, to learn about their spiritual self, learn about your self underneath this physical body, this skin suit that we are, the avatar that we are within, because our spirit is a beautiful divine spirit, and we inhabit this body to have these experiences, and they're all for our soul growth. And so a lot of times people have a hard time with what's going on. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Exactly. So absolutely. And especially with all of the political things that are going on, a lot of strife in the world, a lot of intense energies coming in over and over, hitting us like tidal waves over and over. And it can be really stressful. Your job, children, family experiences, things that are weighing heavy on you. And there are so many tools for people out there that they don't realize that are there. One of the big things, and I remember you told me, Sherry, in a reading years ago, you said you should do yoga. And I never really got around to yoga until like a year ago. And it was like, wow, this is really helpful to open up and relax and to open up the joints, which is your energy field, and helping your body to release tension and stress.
Yeah.
Breathing techniques, which is just, and that's where I'll go into a little bit about some of the things that I've gone through when I was under extreme pressure. I worked in a hospital for 20 years, and it was a lot of years of a lot of stress and a lot of tension, and a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? Pressure to be better, go faster, do better, be perfect. Don't mess up. And honestly, for me personally, I was so hard on myself. I'm like, I have to be perfect. I have to be the perfect mom. I have to be the perfect wife. I have to be the perfect, I have to do all this stuff perfectly. And if I wasn't perfect at it, it drove me crazy, and I had to learn how to kind of just let all of that stuff go a little bit. And a person can only hold so much stress and pressure and tension, and they break. And so me personally, that's what happened with me, is my body started going,
wow,
time out, and my body, my consciousness. And that's when I allowed myself to just be and just open up. And that's what so many people are going through. A lot of times people will go through what they call a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual awakening. That's what I've been shown recently. It makes so much sense because we can only run so fast and so far, especially with the way that America is, bigger, better, climb up to the top, that type of mentality. Work till you drop, work till you drop. My dad worked in a factory. I'm going to use my dad, and I'm sure he's okay with it. Absolutely. He said. And he said he worked in a huge factory. I won't name it, and he said he watched guys work, trying to make as much money as possible, and drop dead of a heart attack right on the floor. Wow. And I thought, boy, I don't want to be like that. I want to live my life. And how can I live my life to the fullest? And some of those things are, maybe you need to quit your job. Maybe you need to switch, change your life. And what is causing you so much, wreaking so much havoc within yourself is basically everything outside of yourself is just a reflection of what's going on inside you. So sometimes there's chaos within you that needs to be healed and helped and move forward and nurtured. And so nurturing ourselves is the biggest thing that we can do. And so what did I do when I felt that? I don't know if it was a midlife crisis. It was something close. It was a spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it, where it feels like you question everything in your life all of a sudden. And when I did that, I just stopped and I went, what is it what do I need? And when I did that, when I started looking at what I needed instead of what I was doing in my life, what was running me, work for the corporate, work for the man, work for this big corporation that's going to fulfill all my needs, but it didn't anymore. And that's when I thought, what the heck am I doing? Why is this okay? And it's kind of like all of a sudden for me, I just realized this is what we call the matrix, right? We're in the rat race, and we're blinded by what we have been taught is how we should live. And we get caught up in all of that, and it tangles us up. There's my medical intuitive part of me. It tangles us up, and we're bound. We're bound, we're stuck, we're trapped in a life that we're unhappy with. And so in that case, you have to start to backpedal and start to unwind and unravel all of that stuff that you got caught up in, and figure out who you are deep down, and find ways of finding out what your passions are. And that's what your passions, your compassion and your passions are, what should be what you do for each day for your job. For your job shouldn't even be a job. It should be something that you love to do. That's like, I can't believe I get to do this work, right? This is one thing that after going through all this and doing many years and starting to do readings and things like that for me, starting to do readings changed my life and taught me that I have so many beautiful gifts and abilities that I didn't even know about. And by using my consciousness, I allowed myself to completely shift my life and move into a totally different place. And within a few years, I quit my corporate job and found out how amazing it is to just be and to just flow in my life instead of being told what to do all the time. And so this is where I found some definite freedom within my life. That's me personally, in finding my passion and following that instead. And so in that case, you're basically getting off the track that you were on and getting onto this new track and going, what was my passion all along? What is it? And sometimes it's thinking, brainstorming, what is it that brought me joy that I just gave up on? What did I give up on for me? My hopes and dreams, because I had to raise my family, or because I had to go to work because we needed money, and it's fascinating because how much do we sacrifice, but we don't need to anymore. And shifting your life, it's so funny because so many people get stuck. They get stuck and they feel that it's like a brick wall, right? And they can't get past it. They don't understand that they can, and I'm probably saying this for a reason. I just channel whatever I'm supposed to say. If they can get past the stuck, your people are running into a brick wall like I was. Like, I don't know where to go. My body's breaking down. I'm getting sick. I don't feel well. I feel terrible inside, And when I started to shift and look at spreading my wings instead of hitting my head against the brick wall, that's when I started to flourish. And you ask for help, you ask for the teacher that you need at the time, and it shows up. And the laws of attraction are amazing because you start to go down that path and the red carpet just rolls right out for you when you're on your path, right? And so so a lot of times when people are stuck in this chaos, it's because they just they're overwhelmed by what they're doing or how they give too much. So many people are giving and giving and giving and not receiving. And then they're energetically emaciated. There's nothing left. They've given all their power, all their energy away to others and they don't have anything for themselves to fill them up. So one of the ways that you can, many of the ways that you can allow yourself to take back your power is, number one, to just stop and say, let's reassess. Let's find ourselves. Let's find myself, and finding what I call my inner Buddha, or my higher self within me. Our higher self is the part of ourself that is the highest vibrational part of ourself from the spirit world, kind of like almost like an angelic part of ourself. And that is connected and can talk to you from within, from right in your heart space. And I call it the little Buddha. I see it like a little Buddha inside my heart and everybody else's. And so if you can learn how to stop looking outside of yourself, so to speak, for everything that you need, and realize that everything you need is right here, and bring yourself back to you, back to your own heart, and back to your own consciousness, your own self, and call back your power, your energy, and let go of the ties and the strings you have to the ideas that, and honestly, this is what's really been, I call them the flavors of the week or the season, right? Right now, what I've been doing with my clients a lot is helping them to call back their energy to who they are, but also the old versions of ourselves that we became, that really isn't us. And that's why we feel like we're in chaos, because that's not us anymore. We're still trying to be somebody else who we had to create, instead of being our true authentic self. And it feels like it's wrong. It doesn't feel right. We're not living authentically that way. And if you can literally, we call it shamanic rebirth, let go of that aspect of yourself, shed those labels that you've created for yourself, or those ideals, like I have to, have so much money in the bank to retire, and all of these things that really, what's happening on earth with that is we're creating it, and everything we need is going to be dropped into our presence when we need it. So basically starting to learn to, like what Sherry, we were talking about, just going with your gut at the time, and just allowing yourself to be free, and not trying to control everything. Exactly. Yeah. So like when we got on, what do we talk about? I'm just going to let spirit talk right through me. So maybe somebody's listening will hear what I'm saying and go, oh, ding, some light will come on.
Yeah.
So we have to learn how to shed those experiences or those older versions of ourselves that had to get by, or felt they had to get by, or climbed to the top. And what happens is eventually when you start to let go of all that, you realize that wasn't you in the first place. That was the ideals that were placed into you, that were taught to you. And you are really a free being. And once you can let go and that helps you to let go of all of the things that you are so intertwined with in the universe that bother you, that are so hard for you. And once you let those unravel from you, you feel free. And when that happens, you are able to reconnect into source, which is the God source energy that runs through us. And once you step into that, you realize that you have everything that you need. All sustenance comes from there. And it feels amazing. And it feels like you're connected and grounded and part of something. And the other thing is it helps you to not reach out and try and grasp onto things and force, control. We really honestly have no control, but we can manifest. We can manifest, but we have to let go of the control and do it with joy and fun. And so letting go of all of the heavy things, on all of the heavy burdens energetically, is one of the first things to do that we hold on to. And so by just talking about this, hopefully people are going, oh, what do I hold on to? It's all that internal baggage and energy that doesn't serve you. And once you learn to lighten up, you fill yourself with this beautiful, joyful light of source. And so this is just beginning, the baby steps of just starting. And that's when you become more intuitive, you become more one with the universe, and you can sense and feel and see things that you go, where was that before? Just like I did. And where was that before? I didn't know this existed. But if you can find a place, and even some meditations to calm and restore and get you back centered in your body, and groundedness, being grounded within yourself, being connected to the earth, helps to where people are. I see a lot of people ungrounded, where energetically, because since I am a medical intuitive and I see sense, I also do, sorry, I didn't go into that. Psychic medium, medical medium, basically. But also a lot of times I'll see people's feet just not connected to the ground energetically. So they aren't grounded. They're so lost in the world and what's going on that they have no sense of groundedness within themselves. So I see it energetically in my mind's eye as all of basically them just having no connection to the ground and being in their head with everything that's going on in the 3D world. But just to let you know, if you can learn how to bring yourself back to the ground just by taking a deep breath and just envisioning yourself coming back down to the ground and anchoring into the earth, you'll feel much better. And that's how the energy flows. And you don't feel like you're so much in chaos, because you can allow that energy to run through you. So I hope
more peace, more clarity. I find if the more grounded you are, you get more clarity. Everything's
absolutely.
And you feel more at peace.
Absolutely. And so we have an energy system that runs within the body that's just like a machine energetically that runs our energy from heaven to earth and earth to heaven, and we can run it and we can be a part of that, and that will help you fill up. And it'll help you clean out all the goo and all the junk that you accumulate through lifetimes, more than one, lifetimes of experiences and hardships. And so if you can learn how to do some simple techniques to clear that, you feel much better and much more at peace and much more at harmony within yourself. I do have many courses on my website too that are that you just click on and you can go through that teaches you. One of them is to how to find the inner Buddha that I was talking about, how to ground, center, and align, and bring yourself into that space of listening to your own inner self or inner Buddha, whatever you'd want to call it. And that's one thing that we need so much help with, is not only just getting readings from others, but listening to our own intuition. And that's what that is. And if you're at a peaceful state, your intuition should be nice and calm and peaceful and give you very, very amazing advice. And so all of these things really help to bring you back into alignment and peace and groundedness. And every single day, no matter what, we all, we're here on earth to have experiences, and some of them are chaotic. This morning I had one, and I'll talk about it. It's like, yes, I have to bring myself back to groundedness. I got my Facebook page hacked. I'm like, I get frustrated, trying to change the password. It's okay. It's fine. It's stuff that happens. And those are things that we go through, but if you can just ground yourself and go, okay, I let that go. I ground my energy, just letting that energy go. I come back to myself. Is this a big deal? No, don't make such a big deal. And then you ground yourself and you're like, okay, I took care of it. It's all fine. One thing about that is it's really important to bring yourself back to center when you need to. And bringing yourself back to center, because the universe is going to throw wild cards at you. And we've got to figure out, I have to say, this is one thing, and I'm curious to see what you think. One thing, a lot of times spiritual people people think that spiritual people don't lose it once in a while or have a hard time, or, and what I think personally is, I think if that energy comes up to be released, frustration sometimes, release it, scream once in a while. To me, being spiritual is not just about, I have to be quiet and I can't get mad or I can't get frustrated because I'm a spiritual person or whatever. That's BS to me. I feel like, there's lots of ways of letting go of that emotion. Sometimes it's just grunting like I just, I was like, it's frustrating. What happens is if we don't let those things and let those feelings out, we compartmentalize them and we lock them. It's like we put it into a box and put it inside of ourselves and hold on to it. And that's what eventually will build up and go, So if you can allow yourself to ground in that frustration into the earth, or let it go to the heavens and envision it like, in my second book, I have a picture it's of this girl just throwing up confetti. Just envision throwing it all up to the heavens and going, I let this go out of myself. And letting go, release techniques is what we call them, to release the frustration, tension, panic, whatever emotions you may have that aren't of love, and letting those go. And it's amazing. A very, very simple release techniques of doing that, of just saying, okay, I take this, I put it in a ball of light and I put it down into the earth and I let it go and I breathe out. That's a release technique. And then another one is just gathering up, letting it go to the heavens, or just envisioning dissolving it. That's called transmutation. So there's so many ways of letting go of these frustrating feelings. And don't be hard on yourself if you have to scream. Go outside and scream. One of the things that I'll tell people is go let your frustration out. One way that I've done that for years is going and working out, or I did running for a long time. Even riding my bike. Sometimes you just need to get out, and if you can't do those things, those release techniques of just letting go and envisioning letting things go like a feather releasing from you. Like, thank you so much. I learned from this. And the other thing is every single thing that we have been taught or we have experienced is a lesson. And if you can look at it as a beautiful gift instead of a hardship that's befallen you, that it helps you to see the world with such bigger eyes, and it helps you to open your consciousness.
Yeah. Absolutely. We were talking about your book. I'm going to bring it up real quick. It's going to kind of go between both of us because it came up really big. So I'm going to bring the book up, and I want you to tell people a little bit about you. I don't know if these are two separate books. I think they are.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Two different books.
Because you are an author, and I want people to know that.
Yeah.
And
So,
explain about your books and how can they purchase your books?
so everything's right on my website, KathleenShermanHealing.net. The first book is You're Not Crazy, You're Simply Divine. This is a book to help guide you into your soul's true purpose. The first one is about my experiences of my awakening and all the crazy stuff that happened to me, which is really interesting, by the way. And some crazy stuff happened that, and I talk about things like entities and things that most people do not talk about that are real, but you can, and some people get a little scared about that, but you know what? If you are enlightened and you understand, all you have to do is stand in your light. And I teach you how to do that. So I teach you how to move through things in your life. If you are experiencing a spiritual awakening and you're having a hard time and you want to understand from a psychic's point of view that's done this for years, I explain how to clear your energy field, how to use the violet flame, how to do all these things that help clear the energy, the space, help you to ground, balance, and align. And then there's a bunch of guided meditations to help you do that. And then the second book is You're Not Crazy, You're Simply a Psychic Medium. It's a guide to awaken your divine psychic abilities. It is a cultivation of every every psychic ability that I could imagine to guide you on how to do it. And so it teaches you psychic mediumship. It teaches you how to use your energy, how to raise your vibration, how to connect with your spiritual antenna and connect in. How to tune it up and down so that you aren't overwhelmed by your psychic information, how to put up boundaries with spirit. And it also teaches you your mediumship abilities. So it teaches you about your spirit guides and how to meet them and how to work with connecting and helping souls cross over and everything. It is, I didn't realize that I thought it was going to be a shorter book, but it's so packed. And so I have a lot of clients that call me and say, just by reading your book, I literally just helped a soul crossover. And I'm like, that is amazing, because there's so many people in spirit that need help crossing over to the light. And that's one of the biggest things that I do also. And so it helps teach you how to do these things in safety and with balance, and how to set your boundaries so that you aren't overwhelmed by your empathic abilities. So basically it's a channeling book in all ways. And you can find that on my website. You can find them on my website. I also have a bunch of courses online that you can take online at your own pace. Finding Your Inner Buddha, Medical Intuitive, and one that goes with the second book. So I go through the whole second book with a course through my website. And then also I do a lot of retreats and in-person retreats, sometimes online. I got one coming up at Spruce Lodge November 2nd, which is it's like a mixture of a retreat and a fair, where you get to go in and experience readers, healers, and have readings and healings. It's like $155 for a whole day. It's like you couldn't even get hardly a reading for that from one person. So I'm excited about a lot of opportunities that Spirit's running through me. You know what I mean? And so connecting to others and helping them on their path.
Yeah, it's just been wonderful. We just love having you, Kathleen. And again, how can people get a hold of you? You have a website, your Facebook pages. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yep. My website is right on here. It's KathleenShermanHealing.net. And my Facebook page is, I'm pulling it up really quick. Let me make sure I get the right thing. There we go. It's under Kathleen Sherman, Quantum Shamanic Intuitive on Facebook. So you can get a hold of me through my website. My website is all inclusive. You can get into it and find how to do a reading, healing with me. I do online and in person. Also my events that I run and all of those things. And my books are on there. And you can also order my books. You can order my books through Amazon and many different platforms. So all you have to do is click on it and click books or bookings or events. And very, very easy to find your way. So my website's the best way. You can find me on Facebook as well, but my website is pretty amazing and get you anywhere you need to go. if you're interested.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we're so happy to have you. Thank you for coming back. And we definitely will have you back on again. And Kathleen, much success on your career, your business, and everything you're doing to help the world and making an impact. And make sure you guys check out her retreat. I think you won't be disappointed. And also, she's amazing. Make sure you get a reading by her. And if you need to find it, just go to www.sherrylord.com. We also have our information there, but it's all here on the video as well. And we just want to say thank you and thanking everyone who watched us today. And we'll see you next week. Have
Thank
a
you so
blessed,
much.
prosperous life. Thank you.
Thank you.